Tiny lenses. I've featured a handful of them on this channel recently, most notably this one. This is an excellent release from Viltrox called Chip, and it is a 28mm f4.5 autofocusing full frame lens that is a bit of a work of art. But on October 7th, I got an email, and this email was from Kathy. And Kathy, I guess, works for a company that I had never heard of, and she seemed fairly confident that this lens that she had could compete with this Viltrox. So here we are. Today I'm going to review and compare this Viltrox to a Funleader. Have I heard of this before? No. Can you buy this lens on Amazon? No. But you can buy some protective film for it. Anyway, let's get started. This is the Funleader Cap Lens Pro. It is an 18mm f8 manual focus pancake lens designed for full frame. And I will give credit where it is due, it is smaller than the Viltrox. It's also made by Mr.Ding and his optics company, as his name is engraved at the bottom. It's all aluminum and builds solid feeling. In fact, it weighs 72 grams, which is 12 more than the Viltrox. It has a manual focus ring that has distinct clicks at certain distances. It's a small part of the lens to rotate, but it is better to have some sort of focus control than to have none of it, like a lot of other cheap f8 lenses out there. The front lens element is one of the tiniest that I've ever seen. There is no weather sealing, no electronics, no front filter threads, no lens hoods to talk about. This is very simple. You could look at this as a more expensive all-metal body cap. It is that small. It makes you look down at your camera and panic thinking that you've forgotten to bring a lens with you, but it's there. Inside there are 6 elements in 5 groups, which rivals the 6 elements in 6 groups on the Viltrox. And I know what you're thinking, Arthur, you've never gone through a lens's features as quickly as that before, and you are right, it's just that simple. And while there are a lot of these kinds of disposable camera lens cap options out there, I think that this one is a little bit more advanced. The inclusion of manual focus, even at f8, is a good thing. But right now, I'm not holding my breath that it's going to outperform the Viltrox, but I am willing to be surprised. Based on the first photo, it doesn't look like I'm going to be. Colors are a bit washed out. The Viltrox looks much sharper with more true colors, less distortion. You look at this is the mid-frame. A lens shouldn't be this soft in the mid-frame, at least I don't think so, not at f8. This next shot is more of the same. Extreme vignetting, sharpness and detail levels are lower. The edges and corners are very soft. These are 2 very different focal lengths, but beyond that, the level of detail is very different as well. The Viltrox has warmer tones. The Funleader tends to lean on the blues a lot more, softer corners, chromatic aberration, and I have to keep reminding myself this is f8 versus f4.5. What you're getting here is a disposable lens camera look, washed out colors and details, and the center part of the frame is good. The corners fall apart. The Viltrox is positively usable across the frame by comparison. The flare is interesting. You get this oval with the Funleader and the exaggerated Sunstar look with the Viltrox. It's up to you which you prefer, but the Funleader I found to be much less prone to flaring in general. Picture of a crane here, same thing. I'm not going to say it's horribly soft, but it is not as sharp nor as detailed as the image out of the Viltrox. Then I have to mention the cast that you get with bright light sources. This is not very good in most people's eyes. With the Viltrox, you get a little ghosting and slight loss of contrast, but not to the level of this rainbow artifact. Minimum focus distance on both lenses is about 1 foot. Here is what that looks like. Another example of the warmer colors of the Viltrox. This is an interesting one here. This brick wall is not white. It is a light teal, but with the Funleader, the wall looks white, except for the corners where it looks black because of vignetting. A lot of barrel distortion here as well. It's a lens with optical characteristics, I guess. Can you take a good photo with it? Yes, but does it rival something like the Viltrox? Well, I guess that's up to you to decide. In the past, at this point, I would really tear apart the optics of this lens and talk about my real sentiments, but what I've learned over the years is that people like what they like and they justify what they own, and they are sometimes unnecessarily offended by strong words about optical performance. It's a bit funny, really. In my last video, I compared a Viltrox to a Sony that cost 3 times as much, and in that comparison, the Viltrox was clearly the sharper lens, but a large chunk of the comments were people rushing to the defense of the Sony, saying that it had more character and better rendering. Perhaps that is what will happen with this video. People may come in here and say that the Funleader is the lens with more character and better rendering, and the optical distortions are just elements of ingenuity by Mr. Ding himself. We will see. The other thing to consider between these two is the price. The Funleader, which isn't selling on Amazon, has a retail price of $139 US. It's currently on sale for $109, and I'll see if I can get you guys a coupon code if you do choose to go this route. If it was my money, I would take a strong look at the $99 Viltrox that is now available on Amazon. It's not a perfect lens. It has its own flaws, but from a price to performance standpoint, and certainly from a price to fun factor standpoint, it cannot be beaten at this moment. I hope that Funleader continues to improve upon this design and see what they can do. I think that at f8, this lens really should be close to optically perfect. You could keep it manual focus, you could keep it small, but optics have to take a priority. This amount of vignetting really should be addressed by making all of the elements larger. Sharpness could be addressed by using advanced elements, ghosting and contrast levels by lens coatings. There's always methods to improve. And I have to thank Kathy for having the confidence to even suggest a comparison such as this one via email. And thank you for sending the lens over for review as well. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Links to both of these will be down in the description. Stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.